Good morning, y'all. It is Wednesday, March 11th. It is still really dark out in the morning. 7:30 here. It's still not adjusted to the time change, but it doesn't help that there's a lot of clouds out. We had a storm come through, so it's a little darker than usual. I apologize for that, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it'll be make the video better. I don't know. Anyways, I've kind of just been thinking of consciousness lately, and raising our consciousness. I think it's just so important, especially with a war going on. I mean, unfortunately, with war, it's just going to create more struggle, conflict, suffering, especially, all over the world. I think the powers that be don't really understand, or at least maybe they do understand, and this is all purposeful, that, people are going to be suffering. I mean, prices are going to get inflated. Already you see gas prices going up, and that's going to affect all the goods, materials, food that we buy and consume to sustain ourselves. The ripple effects of a war like this is, I mean, it just, yeah, it extends its tentacles just all over the world. I mean, I'm lucky enough to where I'm kind of insulated. I'm not on the front lines by any means, but I just kind of know that this is going to result in a lot of suffering. And so, yeah, I've just been thinking about consciousness lately and raising our consciousness and how important that is. I mean, that's kind of the spiritual journey I've been on since starting to post these videos. I mean, it's been a journey for me to just kind of improve myself more than anything. Because I'm not exactly where I want to be in life, and I want to improve that. I want to be of service. I think the meaning of life is to leave this world better than we found it, and if you can do that, then you've achieved that meaning in life. And it's so hard to achieve that meaning just because of all the distraction, and from an early age that we're kind of programmed to be addicts essentially. With the entertainment that we consume, the games, the iPads, the products, the food, are engineered and designed to kind of are chemically designed to make us addicts and come back for more, just with the fillers, the MSG, the salts and fats and sugars. I mean, they're tapping into our survival primal nature to make us hooked on foods and drinks that serve us no nutritional value, really. And it happens at an early age, and you get programmed, you get into it, and as you get older, you have to work. The stressors of life come up, and you find different ways to soothe yourself. And it makes sense. At the end of the day, like, we're just trying to find joy in life. But real joy, I think, comes from sacrificing the moment for long term benefit. But at the same time, when you see corporations, when you see the government and how they operate, unfortunately, it's all about short term gratification. It's all about next quarterly's profits, and you just kind of see the way that our whole economy and society is designed and organized. It kind of leaves you feeling, oh man, is this hopeless? I don't believe so. I don't believe so, because I have faith that even you as a person can make a difference in this world. And it's just about doing the inner work. It's about raising your consciousness. And when I say raising your consciousness, I think the easiest framework to look at that is David Hawkins' map of consciousness. And he has all these different emotions that you kind of feel. For example, I believe shame is like the lowest one. Shame is like, you don't like shame or fear is like really the lowest of consciousness levels. And then it kind of rises up from there. And I believe at the 200 level is like where we kind of want to be at. The 200 level is where, you know, you're actually raising your consciousness, and that's at courage. Starts at courage, and that's not like courage to be bad, courage to um, take advantage of a situation over someone, or you know what I mean. It's courage to be good, courage to choose the light, and whatever that means to you. I mean, I think courage should be defined, as producing action that doesn't harm someone else, and producing action that serves the greater good in a way. And if enough of us can do that, I think that we're achieving our meaning. We're achieving the meaning of life. And I think that there's people out there that can make a real difference, you know, just knowing kind of the inner workings of what's going on, all these just kind of what's going on in these dark rooms and what's being planned. But they have to have the courage to kind of speak up and speak out. And I think there has to come like a level of forgiveness, not only for themselves to do this, but also a level of forgiveness, like a spiritual awakening for maybe the masses, the collective, to forgive them, in a way, so that we can progress. I mean, human nature exists, right? And part of human nature is that power corrupts. It almost a good person can be powerful, but the people around them or just the power itself eventually goes to their head, and maybe not even to their own fault. It's just the way it is. It's just human nature. And so I think we have to have a level of forgiveness as well as we try to evolve our society and organize it better to really just, I don't know, evolve our spirituality and spiritual awakening to these higher conscious levels. And another way that you can experience higher consciousness is just surround yourself with just better entertainment, better music, better people. Think about the conversations you have, the thoughts that you have. Life is a wave. Look, you're going to have low conscious thoughts. You're going to have low conscious interactions. But I mean, if you're consuming kind of music that is low conscious, that talks about fear, death, sex, that sort of things, that's low conscious. Not to say you can't enjoy that type of music occasionally, but you kind of want that average consciousness level to go up, right? And to be able to do that, you have to even it out. You have to, in fact, more than even it out, you have to bring that average up. And so that's just about, and that takes practice, because I think we're creatures of habit. A lot of our thoughts that come through our mind are going to be maybe low conscious, but practicing that and being aware of that, be like, oh, there's that thought again. There's that low conscious. Let me bring this up. And an easy way to bring it up is gratitude. An easy way to bring it up is gratitude and just thanking God, thanking your creator for everything that you have, for the health that you have, the ability to take a breath in and out, the ability to see what's around you and have that awareness around you in the present moment. Another good way to raise your consciousness is to pray for others, to think about others in your past, maybe that even have done you harm or done you good, and try to, pray for their forgiveness, pray for them to get better, pray for yourself to get better. Give yourself a lot of grace. I mean, especially if you're on the path of trying to evolve your consciousness and raise it, give yourself a lot of grace. I think about that. I have just weird memories that pop up in my head sometimes, and it's just like I get those feelings of shame. It's just, oh man, I think about something that happened 20 years ago. Like, why did I do that? Why is this so like cemented in my head that it pops up in my memory bank occasionally, and then I just feel that shame and just like, man, I'm so dumb, And then I got to practice like, and you were dumb, you know what I mean? Like, you were dumb back then, maybe. It's like, that's not who you are now. You had to go through those moments. It's a whole nother self, and you can't live in those moments. You're going to have those moments where they come up and you're in that low conscious kind of feeling and that low conscious vibration where your emotions are feeling that thought, feeling that past moment. But you can't stay in there. And if you can practice just kind of snapping out of it, I think that you're really making a huge step in your life. And if that can become a habit, even better. And it's going to take a lot of practice for that to become a habit, to where you just kind of automatically recognize that thought, recognize that emotion, and then practice gratitude right after it, or practice self-love, practice grace, practice forgiveness, practice acceptance, practice neutrality, that it doesn't affect you. It's like, it happened. Like, there's that weird thought again. So anyway, those are kind of the strategies, and I think if enough of us do it, if the collective can do it, it'll raise the consciousness level of our species, of the collective, and hopefully give courage for those that are in those dark rooms, and shed light on where light really needs to be shined on, so that humanity can survive and thrive and just get better, and we can achieve our meaning of life. Because I don't think we're doing so right now in our society. We're not leaving this planet better than we found it, especially our generation. And so it's going to take a spiritual effort, a spiritual awakening to really turn this around, especially with this war going on. Because this is a global war. It's affecting every single corner of the planet. Um, you know, it is, because energy. At the end of the day, what is this world? Energy, food, water. Like, that's what we need to survive. You can survive. There's other things like kind of utilities and sanitation and health and all that, but those are the essentials: energy, food, water, and obviously with oil kind of being a main driver of our energy. Yeah, this is affecting everyone. It's affecting China because they receive a lot of oil from that area of the planet, from the Middle East. So it's affecting Russia. You know what I mean? It's affecting all, Americas, Europe, everyone. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm rambling yet again, and this is a fairly long video. Usually I don't make them this long, but not anymore at least. But anyway, hope you found it useful. As always, many blessings. Raise that consciousness. Thank you for sticking this long if you did. Peace. Much love.